adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Bitcoin Daily, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar. We do this show every single day, Monday to Friday, because we gotta know what's happening with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is affecting our altcoins, so we gotta know what's happening in the markets, right? So we're gonna do this, every day, Monday to Friday, early in the morning, just to see what's happening. And right now, the Bitcoin dumped on the downside like we were expecting to do. It didn't have much bullishness, unfortunately. But the big question today is it over? Is it done? Is this dump done? Because you can see, already up here that, the targets, the triangle, this triangle did dump around where it should have dumped down to. Right now, looks like it's done for a little short while, but is it really done? Are we gonna continue dumping on downside? So that's what we're gonna try to look at today. That's what gonna try to figure out today. Is it done? What might or might not happen, now that we are moving away from this dump. Anyways, guys, hello everybody, good morning. How you guys doing? Who's in the chat? The Central Plant is in the chat, Captain is in the chat, Martin is in the chat, and those are the green guys except Captain. But Matty, Laughing Gourmet, Pubric, Amer, who more is in the chat? Yasir, Ferit is here as well. Hi man. Crypto Vulture, hey Tiela, sup, what's up? Take it easy. Pogzos and Ivan, how you guys doing? Welcome. Now, guys, we dumped. Unfortunately, we dumped. You can see here is also on daily time frame. But you'll see once we start, doing this up down here that, the bottom support line is not really well defined. At least the trend line is not very well defined. So even down here, there is some kind of support down here. So, we dumped maybe on the support. So maybe we are done. Maybe. Where is your moon pump? It can happen, man. The moon is still in play. Where is the moon? The moon is still in play, and we are, still waiting for it to, have effect on the price. But, sometimes it can, be bad, but, Dumps and Saturday night seem hand in hand now. Yeah, it always does. We got 37.6. Moon is over. Alts are bleeding. Now, you haven't seen, nothing yet. I'm looking at altcoins right now. They are around the 3, 4, 5% give or take. Around 3, 4% right now, most of the alts. So it is a normal expected dump. Some alts are more down than other alts. Do you know what I'm interested in, by the way, about EOS and Phyla? They pumped a lot of that, and then everybody started talking about EOS. EOS started going towards us. I suddenly, oh, there is bullish. I'm telling you, EOS is not bullish. And Phyla also went back down to the support line down here as well. These two coins did, nice pumps just before this dump. So they are right now dumping back down to the support lines. Bitcoin, unfortunately, had this triangle up here. Bitcoin unfortunately had the triangle. And this triangle, the target for this triangle on the breakout on the downside, I'm not quite sure whether that's gonna be this one up here, or maybe all the way up here, from the top to the bottom down here, but maybe it's the second one, but right now, doesn't matter how you target this this on the downside. It looks like this dump over here, the triangle dump, the technical target for triangle is done. So the very first dump out of the triangle is done, technically speaking, and we can just form some kind of bottom up here and continue going towards the upside. The question is, will we do that? And why are we stopping exactly down here? Maybe we're stopping exactly down here because of the triangle, but we might also be stopping because there is another trend line that's very important. So if you go to the daily time frame up here, I've been looking at some trend lines up here, and I cannot decide, because on the upper side we are pretty sure where the trend line went. It went something like this up here, right? So we are pretty sure about the trend line, resistance line at the top side. We failed to get back above that. We went down, consolidated right back inside this inside this area, and we knew exactly where the trend line is. Now on the bottom side, the support line, we said it might be, for example, something like this up here, right? something like this. This might be some kind of, you know, triangle that we are right now technically falling out of. Now that's of course very bad, but there is other ways to draw the triangle, and I'm not very sure about this support line as well, because for example, if you look at it like this over here, something like this up here, it does seem to have a validity as well, because I mean it technically does hit the lines a lot of times, it technically does. So over here, you know, with this week on the downside right now, we got this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, maybe something here. Even on the downside down here, there is some kind of hits up here, you know. So there is definitely, you know, more options to draw the trend line on the downside. Let's go to the weekly time frame and see how this looks on the weekly time frame. You'll see that even on the weekly time frame, there are options to draw this a little bit differently, something like this maybe. Some kind of, you know, a break on the downside, but this held the support up here. There was a week down there, there was a week here, there was a week almost here, and right now we are on the same week. So there is definitely, you know, reasons to believe that right now we might be at some kind of support as well, but we are not calling anything right yet. So this bottom line is a little bit tricky, you know, but we always, you know, just extend the line, you know, and at the end of it, you know, we'll be like something like, hey man, we are still in the triangle, you know. Doesn't matter how far you go. So I would say, you know, you go below 37,000, there is no hope anymore. I mean, right now there is still hope that there is some kind of other triangle holding right over here, but once you go below 37,000 down here, there is kind of no more hope. Like these weeks are the last thing that you can draw on the chart. So there is technically some kind of still hope the way I see it up here. Let's put maybe something like this down here. Something like this, maybe give or take. Let's go to the 2 hourly time frame up here. Let's clean up these, we don't need these. So yeah, there might be, you know, reasons to believe that this is a triangle as well. Elon saves us. Elon doesn't do anything. He even posted a, you know, Dogecoin meme on Twitter, and it didn't do anything. The Dogecoin didn't pump or dump or anything as you know, it didn't do anything. So let's remove these trend lines up here for a second up here, and these yellow lines up here are what we call support lines. We did this last time, so we're not going to talk too much about it, but what you're going to see here right now is we are holding this last line before we get to this, you know, 38.5 levels down here, and then we got a couple of trend lines on the downside that are gonna act as a support right now, but we are going below this very, you know, the junk of the support lines right up here between 39,000 and 39,700 up here. So this support area down here, we are right now at the bottom of that support area. We actually broke it on the downside, which is a little bit bearish, but we are trying to pick back above it. So I wouldn't like to close below this line down here at 39,000 down here. Let me see a little bit up here. Yeah, 39,000. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. There we go, I'm back again. Sorry guys, I got the sniffles, so I need to, you know, go to the toilet every couple of minutes and, you know, do the stuff. So right now we are looking at, you know, this last kind of support. I think that's up here. It's a weekly support line at 39k right now. Still going a little bit down. We are still not that bad. I mean, it is dump. It is dump towards downside. It is dump out of the small time triangle, because this this triangle up here is not even on the daily triangle. I mean, it's very hard to draw this triangle on the daily time frame. It's a small time triangle. It's a 4 hourly triangle that we just right now came out of towards the downside right now, and that's all and dandy. The question is this done, right? So we are still holding support lines. I don't see, you know, the big dump is not yet over here, but you know, people are kind of jittery right now. So you can see down here, if we maybe all the way down here start falling even further towards downside, I will be having a really hard time drawing any kind of triangle on the chart up here. So on the daily time frame, this big triangle up here, this daily triangle up here, this is the big stuff, right? And there is no way, like, we still got some kind of hope you can draw this triangle, something like this up here, you know, but after that, like, it becomes really hard. It becomes really hard because it's no longer a triangle, right? It's no longer a triangle. It doesn't matter what you kind of, you know, what kind of lines you use. So I would say if you start falling below this bottom down here at 38.5, was that 38.5, 39,000. If you start falling below the bottom down here on the downside, now that's the bad dump. So this dump over here, it's not that bad. You know, it just kind of went up here, turn around towards downside. So maybe we're just gonna get some kind of consolidation up here before we actually go towards the upside. But if for whatever reason we dump on the downside, that's gonna be a bad stuff. So we're gonna see some kind of moves on the downside down here. Now let's post a moving average up here and see that we are still getting rejected by this 10 moving average. You can see this white line going towards downside. We went up to that bearish engulfing came up to the line, right now getting pushed down. So we are still getting pushed down by the moving averages on downside. This is, we are getting pushed by the 10 moving average, not even the 20. So this is a very speedy dump on the downside. I know this has been going a little bit, you know, sideways up here for a couple of days right now, and it's been kind of boring, but it is a very speedy dump on the downside down here, guys. It is a speedy dump. So this needs to either break this 10 moving average in the next, what's 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So this is gonna happen this week, guys. This is gonna happen this week. Because you know, you don't have that much time yet left before this moving average meets the support line down here, or the trend line, and this needs to break either towards the downside or towards the upside. So I'm gonna say right now, within this week, we're gonna know whether there is any kind of hope left to, you know, get above the moving averages, consolidate here, and then break towards the upside. And maybe there is, because of the full moon, right? Maybe there is, but we'll definitely see some kind of bullishness here, right? But if this just continues dumping on the downside below the support line, then we are looking for a bigger drop. We are looking for some kind of ending of this dump. So is this dump done yet? We are not quite sure. The triangle is done. The triangle over here is done on the downside, but the bigger dump down here is still not done yet. So we are still getting pushed on the downside. Still getting pushed on the downside. Let's see if you can draw the up here, something like this up here. I mean, technically you can draw it like this over here. Let me go to another chart up here. Sure, why not? So on the daily time frame, this downtrend maybe or may not be broken. Like over here, it does look like we you know, tried to break it up here, went up here sideways. You know, we kind of just went kind of sideways above here, so it doesn't look legit. Let me just pull lines a little bit up here. So you can see we are trying to hold some kind of a support on the downside, some kind of support on the downside. I'm not quite sure about whether this is gonna be. This is a 4 hourly, so 4 hourly can often be a lot trickier to draw. And you know, the question is, did we already break it? Like first time I was drawing this line, I drew it like this over here. This looks like, you know, already, you know, broke out, then went sideways. Right now, you know, we might dump, you know, second time and then continue towards the upside, right? This often happens like this. You break the trend, you try to get back on the trend, you try to get back on the trend again, and then you reverse and continue going into a second direction, right? That's often how this kind of stuff does. But let's see up here, trend up here. It looks like something like this up here, maybe. No, it should be like this. It looks like it actually got broken. It looks like it actually got broken. Let's go to the 8 hourly time frame just for fun of it, just to see up here. I mean, maybe we did already break. So I'm not quite sure whether this dump is going to continue. Let me just remove this line up here. Not quite sure whether this dump is going to continue, but we are at some kind of bottom right now over here. So what we're going to do right now is going to go into small time frames, Small time frames up here. Where is the triangle? I need to draw the triangle again. We're gonna go into the small triangle up here, and we're gonna try to figure out. So this was the small triangle inside the bigger triangle that we dumped out of. So right now we're gonna go into small triangle, see if this dump over here is done. So we're gonna go into 4-hourly time frame, and we're gonna draw a trend line, something like this down here. Now this trend line of the small time frames, if you're gonna have any kind of support on the downside here, and this fair dump needs to stop, that means that we got to break the trend line up here, right? This is 1-hourly trend line, so it doesn't mean anything, but it can be a first sign of strength if we start going on the downside. You can see also that moving averages, 10 moving averages is pushing us towards that. Right now all of the moving averages are curving towards downside, and we are definitely right now in some kind of downtrend. This 1-hourly downtrend down here, 1-hourly downtrend, breaking 1-hourly downtrend doesn't mean that you are gonna go bullish all around, but it shows strength a little bit on the bigger time frames after that happens. So right now I'm looking at this triangle, technically speaking, right now we are in a definitely some kind of downtrend. This downtrend is still not done. The dump is still not dump until we break this trend line over here. Until we break the trend line, let me just clear up the chart a little bit. Until we break this trend line over here, that goes something like this up here. Until we break this trend over here, the dump is still in full effect on the downside. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking for this dump to be finished. Now the dump is not yet finished. It can technically go down further towards downside, but it's only below, this looks like 38.3 or something like that on the downside. I would say if we start going back below, the previous lows down here at 38.5 or something like that on the downside down here, you'll notice a big volume coming in. Let's check out the volume, because we haven't looked at the volume up here. Volume is still going on the downside, guys. The volume is still going down, so there is still no volume even on this breakout. But this is a small term, small time frame. Let's see on the 4-hourly time frame. You can see on the 4-hourly time frame we did get the volume up here, right? So the volume did kick in on the small hourly time frame. So this is legit breakout out of the triangle up here. The volume did kick in, but if you zoom out a little bit up here, right? If you zoom out a little bit, you can see that the volume on the daily time frame is not. It's still going down. So ever since up here, whatever that is, right, we have been going down, maybe even some down here. This consolidation here was actually going down. This was maybe going a little bit up here, all the way up here, then consolidation. But this move on the downside, it is going down without volume. So I'm thinking this might be over very soon. Right now, we are not looking at some kind of very low levels. It might happen, right? There is a this bear flag on the weekly time frame that's happening. It might happen, but it just might be looking that this is the last kind of dump, the last kind of dump that's just happened. We are hitting some kind of lows down here now on the 4-hourly. The volume did kick in, but we are looking for some kind of bottom down here, Let me see on the weekly. Let me see on other charts as well. This is on the weekly time frame up here. This is on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame on the Q coin up here, you can see entire move up here has been just losing the volume. So this dump on the downside is just losing volume all the time on the downside. This pullback is losing the volume right now. So we are hitting some important support down here. So big moves are about to happen up here as well. This is on the Coinbase, and Coinbase also technically speaking, been losing volume as well. So losing volume on the downside, it shows that there is no interest in the move towards downside. So people also been saying that on-chain metric data looks good, everything looks fine. Bless you, thanks. Everything looks fine, right? But we are still going on the downside, and I'm not fearful, guys. I was bearish in the triangle. I was expecting more downside, but right now that downside is coming, I'm looking for this 1-hourly time frame to break. I'm looking for this trend to break. I'm looking for this support to hold, and seeing that the volume is been declining towards the downside, and we have been falling down for a long time. I'm thinking we just might hold the bottom down here. Now at the end of it, let's look a little bit on the metrics up here aside. The MACD is still, you know, right now I think it might be, it is still going on the downside, The momentum is going on the downside. The RSI on the daily time frame is at some kind of 37 level, so we are pretty low on the RSI. Let me just check up here and see. Before we had a big dump down here, this was actually sitting at some kind of 46 level before we had a big dump. Sitting at 50 levels up here. Up there it was at 54. Let's go a little bit longer. I just want to see before we have these big dumps down here. Start up at top up here, but you know, it can happen. So daily, let's see weekly time frame up here. Right now RSI 46. This looks like if this continues upping on the downside, we're gonna get bearish cross again up here towards downside. It might just happen, but it's really inconclusive. The indicators are a little bit inconclusive up here. And on the weekly time frame, we managed to close below a very bad move towards downside. Where is it? Let's just clean up, take this chart, not this chart up here. So what you're gonna see here on the weekly time frame, we went below the 10 moving average as well. So right now we are below the 50, the 20, the 10 moving average, and right now we are all the way down here. The good thing is that we did not break the support yet. So we did break some kind of support up here, you know, but we broke that on this week up here 2 weeks ago. But we are still above the 37.7 support up here. We are still above 37.7 support. So this definitely can find some kind of bottom down here again and continue towards the upside. Maybe, and also we are getting these higher highs and we are getting these higher lows. So as long as we don't break this level down here at 37.7 on the weekly time frame, we can still technically be very bullish, right? So all in all, the dump happened. It was a, you know, expected. The triangle played out. Right now sitting at some kind of bottom down here, we don't know yet whether this is gonna be the bottom or not. The 1 hourly time frame up here, the trend line on the 1 hourly time frame is the most important one. That's what we are looking right now to break. Whether we're gonna break that or not, it kind of depends. So we are still watching the charts. We're gonna watch the charts, you know, throughout the day. This is gonna play out within a week. You know, within a week we're gonna know. You know, within the next couple of days we're gonna know whether we are breaking the trend line or we are breaking the support line down here on the downside. So you know, that's gonna be very exciting. Now, what is people in the chat thinking about this? While you write that, be right back. Oh man, these sniffles are really getting to me, man. DXY still not finished with pumping it. Yeah, it's still not finished with pumping yet, man. This thing goes, and it did increase the speed. So it is technically still in a strong uptrend, unfortunately. So as long as DXY is pumping, I'm not quite sure how far this is gonna go. We're all gonna dump again within the hour. I mean, it can happen. Once it starts moving, you know, the volatility is kicking in right now. But you know, I'm still looking at the trend line up here. I think we need to, you know, a little bit more sideways motion at least for a couple hours to see how this is gonna play out. See on the daily time frame, this is you know, we're gonna know with the hours whether we're gonna break this trend or not up here, but you know, it's gonna take a couple of days, I think, to know whether we break the trend on the downside, Thinking I wish I had to put more in, but I don't get paid for 3 weeks. I like your optimism, man. I hope to find a bottom soon and then restart pumping. Also, hopefully, too. 4th May, probably very important. I'm not quite sure why 4th May is very important. Seems bullish. I want to see Bitcoin dump to 20k. I want to accumulate more. It's not gonna dump too fast, guys. It's not gonna dump too fast, you know. The boring market is the worst market, because if it dumps too fast or pumps too fast, that's volatility, and that's, you know, everybody likes that. Nobody likes, you know, very small, slow moves towards downside, upside. That's I mean, to slow move towards upside, nice, but slow moves towards downside, slow bleeding, that's the worst, guys. We're gonna go down to 38, 35, maybe 35, and then we're gonna bounce up between 43 and 45. Then we're gonna have the mother of all crashes. We'll see. VWAP curving down on the 15 already. I think we'll see 37.5 soon, then a pause. Yeah, there are definitely other indicators that might indicate more bearishness and stuff like that, but they announced on 4th May about QT. What's QT? QT girl? Looks like small bear flag on the 1 hour chart. Small bear flag on 1 hour chart. Maybe. I mean, you can see down here, this might have been some kind of bear flag. This is a second maybe bear flag. I don't know. It's too early to tell. Don't have that much data on it. You've been calling the button for 3 months already. Why don't you admit all your TA is rubbish? Of course it's rubbish, man. Who said it's not rubbish? We do, dude. We do moons on this channel, man. We do moons. We draw some random lines, and you're thinking that we are serious about this. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? Come on, we're just having fun, man. QT making money out of the market. Yesterday was a bear flag also. Selling may walk away. I don't know if you're gonna sell or whatever, but you know. Yes, the alts are bleeding on downside. There is some alts in green. This, I don't know what this is. Alba is right now in green down here. You can see this very nice curvature down here. Maybe it's finding some kind of bottom. This curvature also might drop on the downside. Request. Kava is up 2.3%. I don't know why. But yeah, there are not many coins that are in green right now on my chart. 3 coins are in green. 3 coins and the XY. I'm stuck holding quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, traders do what traders do, you know. Traders go in and go out, you know, all the time with the market. But for normal people, it's really hard to, you know, watch the charts all the time, predict the dumps, predict the pumps. The best thing normal people can do is to see that it is some kind of bearish market, right? It is at some kind of low, right? So, you know, trying to find the bottom, time the bottom, it's, you know, very bad time. What you want to do is you want to find that we are at some kind of lows. It can go lower, so, you know, dollar cost average towards downside. Because if you believe that the price will eventually go to 1 million, you know, it really, you know, dollar cost averaging, you know, seems a fair move for most people. Any kind of dip, doesn't matter if dip goes all the way down to 10k or 5k or 1k, as long as you believe in that, dollar cost averaging is fine, right? So, but you gotta believe that, you know, it's gonna happen eventually, it's gonna be 1 million, right? So, you know, you gotta look at this as a temporary bear market, a temporary move towards downside, and then dollar cost average, right? But if you do not believe, you know, and if you are, you know, if you do not believe, then it's gonna be hard to dollar cost average, right? I'll be very good shape come next bull run though. Yeah, next bull run, as long as you get the small altcoins, I mean, at, you know, promising altcoins, you know, getting promising small cap altcoins and, you know, loading up on those, you know, when the next bull run comes, you're fine. TLI has high entertainment value. Yeah, that's what we're here for. You know, it's not financial advice. It's not, you know, it's not serious. It's just like moons and, you know, entertainment and fun stuff. Do you think we're gonna have another price drop to 35k? Not right now. I mean, the way I see, there is still big support below us. You can see the supports up here. There are big supports. I mean, if you want to go below 35k, if you want to go to 35k, that's down here. It can definitely happen, but you know, you gotta first, we gotta break all of this. So this means on the daily candle, then you gotta break this one, then you gotta break this one down here to get to, you know, to 35k. So there are definitely a lot of supports left on the downside that might hold, because we don't know actually if the support is gonna hold or not until we actually reach that support and then check if that support is holding, right? So right now it looks like we're breaking a little bit downside, but you know, there are definitely reasons why, you know, there should be some kind of support here at 37.5. We definitely don't want to make any kind of move below that. Then it just starts getting ugly. So yeah, short term, guys, I'm interested in how this, you know, 1 hourly time frame is gonna play out. Some lines that I'm looking at right now, hopefully this plays out. Our triangle. So this triangle is done. We're gonna not look at this triangle over here anymore. So this fast dump on the downside just started. That's 1 hourly dump, needs to get up here to stop the dump. Let's go to the 4 hourly time frame up here. Let's see 4 hourly. It looks like we might be at some kind of bottom, guys. We might be at some kind of bottom. We are gonna watch on the small time frames down here to see any kind of pattern forming, anything that can say that, you know, this is gonna reverse towards upside. If that happens, I'm gonna inform you guys. You know, either on Twitter or somewhere else, or a Telegram. Golden bull ratio cycle. Let's go. Is there any such thing? Golden bull. No, there is no such thing. Michael said, and Duke One will buy it up before it hits 35. Yeah, so there is a lot of buying. So everybody, I think everybody's on the train that Bitcoin is going to 1 million. I think everybody. Do you think Bitcoin will ever reach 1 million? 5, 10. Yes, no. Let's see how many people believe this. Let's see how many people believe that Bitcoin will actually do this. Promise you, Duke One will buy tomorrow. Just watch. He's always buying. I've been watching BTC rising wedge on the daily. The start was February 24. Bottom line, top line started on March 1st, 2nd-ish. And my target is 34.4. Have a look, TLI. I reckon it's valid. Okay, Shin, let's check it out. Daily time frame. We're gonna do it on another chart up here, not this chart. We're gonna do it over here. All the charts are same. So what you're gonna do? I've been watching BTC rising wedge. Start February 24. Start February, bottom line, top line start. Rising wedge. So it's something like this, right? And top, but you know, the bottom is down here at 30. What is it? 34.5, 34.5. Yeah. So bottom where it started, but March 1st, 2nd, March 1st, 2nd. I'm not quite sure about that, you know. I'm not quite sure about that. It does hit it twice, you know, here, but you know, it's only 2 touches on the downside, and this wick is not that, you know, confirmative of the move. And this line up here is a little bit, you know, I mean, there is a way definitely to make it work, but you know, maybe something down here. But this isn't triangle though. Maybe something I don't know, it looks ugly, a little bit ugly to me. Yeah, I don't like that it's only has 2 touches on the downside, on the support line as well. So people actually think Bitcoin going to 1 million. 40 people said 40 people answered, 73% think Bitcoin will actually reach. So 30% don't think Bitcoin will ever reach 1 million. I think by 2030 it will be 1 million and we'll have worldwide adoption. Sorry, 4 hours. 4 hours. First February, yeah, but still something like this up here and up for 2nd March, give or take. It still has the same problem where you don't have a lot of hits on the line. You only have 2 hits on the line, and this upper line, like these two, this line might be nice, but there, you know, I think the bottom should not be where it is right now. Maybe something like this up here. So, you know, it goes something down here. This looks too steep. Nah, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I think, you know, I think it's a little bit ugly. I just don't see it. It's not. You'll often feel that it. You will often feel it like in your gut. Oh man, you'll see it and you'll already, you know, automatically know that it's a rising wedge. But this doesn't look anything like any kind of rising wedge up here. Even if you remove some of these lines up here, you know, you know, nah, I don't see it. Ugly lines. Yeah. 1 million, not in our lifetime. Not a matter of it, but when. I remember people said Bitcoin will never reach 10 bucks. Bro, do you have been keeping an eye on DXY? It's making a run. I hope the dollar crashes soon. Be good for BTC. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on DXY all the time, but we are looking on. We are not looking this day by day, because really day by day it doesn't matter. What we are always looking on DXY on the weekly time frame, and we are looking for the trends to break. And unfortunately, right now it's still pumping towards the upside. It's still on a very speedy option right now, saying, technically Bitcoin can still go down, but this looks like it is increasing speed towards the upside. So, you know, I'm not quite sure how long this is gonna continue towards the upside. You know, it's right now reaching these, you know, tops up here. So the question is, will this reach these tops up here and, you know, drop on the downside again for the 3rd time? Not quite sure about history repeating that many times in a row, but, you know, there is always hope. There is always hope. Bitcoin down here, 4-hourly time frame, still on the downside. Monthly L2, not sure what L2 is, from CPR. CPR lines is the lines that Crypto Noob uses, right? CPR. I don't know. Is this the CPR? Yeah, it looks like some kind of CPR lines. I really don't get these CPR lines. I'm really not into them. House in my neighbors were 30-40k in early night. Now it's 8-1 million. Yeah. No, I'm not into CPR line, but, you know, I like Crypto Noob, so do follow him, you know. And if he can make, you know, CPR lines work, then, you know, it's all good. The guy's legit. He's always good at finding patterns, man. He's good at finding. He's, you know, pattern finder. So there's that. Now, the question remains a little bit unanswered. Is this dump done? We are not quite sure yet. This dump technically is not over yet. We are still falling on the downside. We are still falling on the 1 hourly on the downside down here. You can see the trend up here. The trend, we are still falling on the downside. So yeah, this dump is not yet done, unfortunately. Maybe we are on some kind of button down here, gonna go sideways and break it towards us. That can be, but until we break it, it's not, technically it's not done yet. 4-hourly time frame is definitely, there is another one line here. You can see it immediately up here. It goes something like this, I think. No, it does. This looks a little bit ugly. A little bit ugly. This should be broken. You know, the problem with charting on the 4-hourly time frame is that there are too many weeks, too many weeks. I don't like this. I think this is some kind of throw off. Let's go to the 8-hourly time frame. Let's go to 8-hourly time frame and see it up here. Maybe I'm not liking it. US pre-markets look bearish. Everything looks bearish when you look at it. I just heard in the news, I haven't checked it, but I've heard in the news that that the markets are a little bit going down. So nickel is -1%, Moscow is 0.4%, but I also heard, you know, Shanghai stuff like that. It just normal move towards downside. The markets right now, let's see here if it just wants to load. This is Dow Jones right now, 18 April. It's opening a little bit towards downside. It is still in a downtrend though. It is still in a downtrend. This is the daily time frame of Dow Jones. Let's just clean the lines. You'll notice that we hit some kind of tops up here, right? We broke some kind of trends towards upside. We try to go higher. We try to go. This is creating lower low. This is this is creating lower highs. This is creating lower lows as well. Right now we came to this resistance up here. Try to break right now. Going sideways up here. It does look like it's losing the power, you know, steam up here. It does look like it's gonna go more on the downside. If we start breaking these lows down here at 32,000, 33,000 on the downside, that might be big stuff, right? So let's go to the weekly time frame, see how this looks on the weekly time frame. You'll see here the rejection up here at the moving averages, 20 and the 50 moving average, came up towards, tried to break, failed, going down at support right now. The question is just gonna go continue, but you know, down here at 30, you know, because we managed to do, you know, this slow down here, bounce big time towards the upside, right? So if you lose this slow again on the downside down here, we might experience a nice dump on the markets as well. And the same thing goes for the S&P 500 as well. On the S&P 500 we did manage to get a higher low, and we did manage to get above the 20 moving average, but unfortunately just right back down again below all of the moving averages. And right now we're sitting below this even 10 moving average down here, but you know, below some kind of 42k down here, below 42k on S&P 500 down here, and on the Dow Jones below 32.7 or something like that. Let's say 33,000, below 33,000. That's gonna, you know, increase the speed of the dump. I think that's gonna increase the speed of the dump. Morning said, long time no see. Okay guys, that's it for today. Only 67% think that Bitcoin will eventually hit 1 million. 33% don't think Bitcoin will ever hit 1 million. I think that's a little bit, you know, a little bit high. I was thinking that people that are into Bitcoin and stuff like that, you know, would, you know, think like I think that Bitcoin will reach 1 million, you know, eventually, right? I don't know if that's gonna be the thing that I don't know if that's gonna be in, you know, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, or 50 years. But you know, I think it will reach. I think it will reach 1 million. So I'm one of the guys that I think it will reach 1 million eventually. The question is when. The question is big when, right? The question is when. But you know, I did not actually think that 33% of people would think that, you know, Bitcoin will never. You guys don't have faith, man. You guys don't have faith. This is so big, you don't understand. This is very, very big. This is very big. I'm not just talking about Bitcoin. I'm just talking about, you know, technology. It's so big. It's so big. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Bitcoin Daily. Hope you enjoyed that. Bitcoin is still in a downtrend, not yet broken. If something happens, if it gets broken, follow me on Twitter, guys, and because I might update the Twitter if something big happens and stuff like that, right? So you know, you want to be there. I forgot you can make polls. So I asked people if they think we're gonna go up or down, and 61% said up. So of course we're gonna go down. So follow me on Twitter, guys. That's it, guys. That's it. See ya tomorrow, same time, same place, 9 a.m. Central European time on the dollar. We're gonna see what's happening. We're also gonna have live stream tonight, unless my sniffles don't get worse. So we're gonna see that. Have a nice day, everybody. Take it easy. I hope the sun is gonna come out so I can do something in the garden. Bye bye, guys. Outro.